Welcome to the Disrupt Now podcast. This is Natalie Viglione, your host, and this is season 2, unlocking the cosmic mysteries around New Earth magic. My desire is to bring conversations that serve as cosmic medicine for all of the sacred souls that seek the revealing of the magic and mystery of the organic celestial energies. I powerfully step in as a sacred vessel for the cosmic mother, or as we can say, the divine feminine energy rising. I walk an authentic druidic path of primordial tradition, and I am here to share wisdom and the highest truth for the betterment of all beings, animals, minerals, plant life, and all that is. Please join me on this journey to explore and awaken the magic again. And we are recording, ladies. It's New Earth magic time.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Love it.
Laura, as always, so good to see you, sister.
Good to see you, my dear sister Natalie.
We have a new sister with us today, Kate Heartsong.
Thank you. It's such a joy to be with both of you. Love it. I love the sisterhood and what we're going to talk about today. Very exciting.
Yes, we are so glad you're here. And from the Disrupt Now podcast side, which is different from your guys' side, but Kate and I had a lovely conversation. And when we share this, I want to link to that. We talked about a lot of beautiful things, including her book, Humanity's Cry for Change. And really, this was a launch of a deeper conversation into New Earth magic, even at that time, which, again, we all knew that. But, you know, this is now a formalized season 2 for me. And Laura's Get Your Goddess Groove On podcast has a New Earth magic flavor to it now too. That's really how we're bringing this through on all our levels. But again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So where's the wind taking us today, my friends, in this New Earth magic challenge yet beauty?
You know, if I could suggest something, I would love to know more about your book, Kate. It sounds really beautiful and it right up what I need to check into. I know I saw the podcast, but like you said, that was a year ago. So maybe you could bring in some wisdom or launch us in that direction here if you feel
thank
comfortable.
you, Laura.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll just share briefly about the book and how it came about. About 25 years ago, I discovered I have this gift of automatic writing, really sweet meditation, very deep, a particularly deep meditation. And I was drawn to pull a pen and paper and start writing words of wisdom, and it's just so loving, Laura and Natalie. And I knew that these words were for me directly, and as time went on, they became also wisdom and profound insights to share with the world. So back in 2010, I published my first book, Deeply We Are One, which helps us to recognize our greatness. And through that, we can then better recognize our interconnectivity. And then a few years later, I came upon, again, the beautiful writings that I knew were just not only for me, but for the whole world. And I didn't know the topic or the name, but the words were so profound. And it became my second book, Humanity's Cry for Change. And the subtitle is Actions We Can Take to Create a New Earth, and how powerful and relevant that is today. And I so love how it ties right into your topic of the New Earth magic. So I'm very honored. I feel so honored to be the messenger of this information. You know, as we know, there's so many changes happening on the planet. So Humanity's Cry for Change covers many key concepts that are relevant and vital for humanity to continue to be a species, to survive on the planet. And one of those key concepts is the necessity of us recognizing oneness. And that is a whole topic.
Mm.
But that is so much of the part of the new magic of the new earth, right? And then the book also explains the reason we're going through so much havoc right now on the planet and in our individual lives. We're going through so many changes and right in front of our face, experiencing such change and then the old that needs to be healed. So those are two of the many things that it covers. Oh, one more thing I might share is there's many simple exercises that can help us bring in the new earth and also raise our vibration and live more in a whole authentic way for ourselves individually. And can you imagine hundreds of thousands or millions or even 1 billion people doing their own inner work and raising their vibration? And you both know how that adds so beautifully to the collective consciousness. And that's where the shift comes in for our dear new earth and the ascension process.
I love what you're saying. That's beautiful. And I think that, yeah, that's just right on the mark, right on the money. The oneness, and oneness is to me such a broad word. And really, what does that mean to us, as humans? And who are we one with? And diving deeper into that. And then when you were talking about that, I think part of that, and I don't know if you wrote about this in your book, but the oneness I've been looking at lately in myself means that recognizing that there's more than enough abundance for everyone in this world to thrive, and there's no reason or need anymore that's coming from survival ways of being that we need to squander, or we need to be greedy, or we need to compete with each other. None of those concepts are part of the new earth vibration the way I see it. And I feel like when we can get people to begin to do their inner work, and I love what you said about simple exercises, because for me, one of the things I have really appreciated is simple meditation, simple, because we're
Yes.
all so busy. And I find the more simple it is, the more cleaner usually, and the more powerful that the exercise or the meditation or the tools, because they don't get convoluted, and they don't get intertwined with the mind, the mental.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how you said it's cleaner and it doesn't intertwine with the mind and it doesn't have to be complex. The key is with anything is to have the consistency of using them. And also, I've always believed that setting an intention when we use the exercises or setting an intention for anything in our life and how powerful that is. And I also love, Lauren, what you mentioned about what you described about there's no need for worrying about if there's enough and we don't have to be greedy. What you described, as you well know, as we know, characteristics of the new earth, collaboration and kindness and respect and love and all that, all those different characteristics.
Which is another element, is this, from my angle, has been that was always the truth. That is the original blueprint of our creation, and that it was squandered and hindered and stifled and hidden away so that the veil was so thick that so many couldn't see. But there's so many of us trickling in here saying, no. But so no to all of this is no. and seeing the real frequencies and the real vibrations. And I think that what's really intriguing is we're seeing so many different star seeds and indigos and workers of light from all varying generations.
Yeah.
And what's intriguing is being able to see how age is not of the importance, because what has happened is we are able to bring our lens of the journey up to the point of when we were awakened to the full potential of what this frequency really, this true frequency, actually the fourth density experience, of 5 being above frequencies coming in. We're bringing our own unique way of sharing the truth that we, or the wisdom that we're holding within us. It's like, It's really interesting because I think a lot of people are getting stuck on this. It's too late. I'm too old. And not remembering that is absolutely not true. So these simple techniques are available at any age, at any point in life,
Yes.
and any experience. It is not too late to start your mission. It is
Yeah.
not. So all of these are also really big
Yeah.
things that have come up for me because they've for so long it's been an excuse, but now there's just we can't have any more excuses because there
Right.
are none.
Yeah. The time is now. Really, the time was 50 years ago. But I
Yeah.
love what you brought up. It's so critical to know it is never too late.
Yeah.
And imagine if millions of people really just went on board and started doing their work, doing the beautiful work, the simple exercises, living that life, being awake. That all makes a difference. Yes, and it's so key that so many new people being born into this earth are also bringing in so many wonderful gifts that older generations don't have. But there are so many gifts the older generation gives. So again, for me, this goes back to the whole thing of oneness. And, you know, all the different parts adding together is a huge synergy of positive change and shift. Yes.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Kate, because it's what's been coming through a lot is we're all individual sparks of light and we're weaving together a tapestry of the new world, of the new earth. And we all have our magic to give. And one of the things that's been really coming up for me a lot lately is letting go of tying our magic to money.
Oh, yeah.
Because it to me, I'm finding where it's not liberating, it's actually keeping me or can keep someone limited if they feel like they have to put out their creation that they're meant to give to the world. That creation should be given freely in a sense without any attachments. And it's an interesting concept in the new earth, and I do feel like that in the new earth that I don't know exactly how our livelihood exchange is going to happen. I don't think that we know, but I do know that our creative expression as creators, is the remedy. And it is actually part of the Christ consciousness from the way that Yeshua explained it to me. He helped broaden he helped me to broaden beyond a religious connotation of, and even a spiritual connotation. He helped me to understand that coming back into our creatorship, our creator being, that this is actually how we become free and sovereign again. And this is actually part of the birthright. It actually is stemming from rooting into the Christ consciousness energy of
Beautiful.
unconditional love. And to
Mhm.
me, there should be no strings attached to that at all.
Mhm.
And I feel like that concept out there is one for the new earth that is very different than the way we viewed things in the third dimensional earth. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I do. And I love how you worded it, Laura. It's beautiful. And because it is all about new paradigm. And so what you were talking about, that there's not going to be, and we don't know what the monetary system will look like, but I really strongly believe oh, by the way, when you were talking about the tapestry, I got chills all over my body as you were sharing that. All individuals coming together and we're all weaving into this tapestry because we are all one. But then the higher vibrations and all the other shifts in our DNA and many other things that are causing so many different changes in different levels. But there is so much to be said about recognizing and living into that higher vibration, but doing our own personal work as well. And that we can and we are living more in that beautiful Christ consciousness. What Yeshua has taught is so beautiful, and the unconditional love. And you worded it so beautifully. Oh, this is so much for myself, and I'm sure for so many, truth that for me really resonates. It's not easy to get there, but we are getting there step by step, right? It's
Yeah.
powerful. And
especially
had so much.
Especially unleashing the truth of the mother energy and the feminine Christ consciousness.
Yes.
This is when I really look at this tapestry, or I always call it mosaic, which is the same picture at the end of the day. When this divine feminine rising in all of us is truly the element that heals, because that's actually, we've been, the experience in this third density specifically has been so challenging and so extra heavy, and the weights have been heavy and anchored because of the true divinity of the actual reality is so beautiful. The, as I call them, the evil ones have really tried to keep that heavy and weighted and layered so that it would be much more difficult for so many. But here's the actual beauty of when it's like we've been living in that wounded household, right, where there's an abusive patriarchal structure. And when we see that is not the truth, that there's this beautiful sacred heart energy of mother consciousness, this divine feminine consciousness that heals, because now we can see through the abusiveness and the I say evil or low frequencies because I don't like to say the word dark because that makes the dark seem as if it's it's something bad and negative, which it's not. But as that's rising, I'm seeing that this is lifting up the veil even faster. And as we're all tapping into this, it's happening faster and faster. And that is the magnificence, is to be able to withhold people tapping into the divine themselves and going through this matrix that's been, that cage, and seeing that happen. You can't stop the truth. It just stop it. You see it rising in everyone around you, and you're just like, it's not stoppable anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stoppable.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. It's not stoppable, and it's beyond any sort of, I feel, or what I was shown, it's beyond any sort of human agenda that people think they have control or manipulation or power. They really don't. They actually don't. And it's very short-lived, and it's like a short little fuse that's just going to burn out very quickly. I think as we move through the rest of 2023, I think we're gonna go through a major financial shift very soon, and I think that's gonna just fizzle this other agenda out that is trying to survive, because it's in a survival mode, and that's the only thing that it knows how to do.
Yeah.
And like you said, the truth is so powerful, and the truth is how we heal. And
it will set us free, as that old saying goes. Now I think we all know what that means more than ever before.
Yes.
It has so much more meaning. Yes. Oh,
yes, it does.
And it is beyond the human agenda. Love, the truth, is the most powerful on all of everything. Love, God, the universe is most powerful. And this is why I'm optimistic. My book talks about how we are shifting from the old paradigm, the patriarchal system of competition and aggression, and that thinking that people are not unified, that there's separation, and men and women are not equal. And we're moving away from that into the truth, which we've always known, which are the beautiful characteristics of the age of Aquarius, of the new earth: love and compassion and collaboration and kindness, and considering all components of a system, recognizing unity consciousness, living it, all of that. But as getting getting there requires the old to be dismantled. Like you said, Laura, the financial systems are breaking down. I think they've already started breaking down. And for my personal opinion is that explains why cryptocurrency is becoming more popular. And why do we have the old paradigm of the Security and Exchange Commission in the United States fighting against the cryptocurrency? And as you said so well, Natalie, the old paradigm is so strongly trying their best to hold on to what for them is reality.
Yeah.
And yet,
Mm-hmm.
I am also such a believer, and my book does talk about it's inevitable. And I'm sure you probably have heard this. It is inevitable that the new earth is indeed coming. The change and shifts that are happening are necessary so we can go into the new earth. And the old has to get dismantled. I love one of the analogies that my guide shared with me that is in my book. And that is a tree. It has beautiful leaves that come in the springtime. And we know that in the fall, they they fall off of the tree. And this is by design. And in the spring, there is then new leaves coming. But if the old leaves couldn't and didn't fall, how would the new leaves come in? The analogy of the autumn season and the leaves, powerful to recognize that, yes, the old needs to be released.
In fact, that's the whole concept behind the Disrupt Now is dissolve the old to awaken the new.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's just not even possible. This is why we're seeing a lot of us are you have we have our mission, many of us have the missions that we're pushing into the world that we talked about earlier, but we have our own unity that needs to happen within us, which is the blending and harmonizing of the masculine and the feminine energies again. In all of us. That's a true unity consciousness, is the unity within, not as much as the unity without, because as we break away and these changes start happening, the bifurcation is truly, we can see that happening and feel that happening. But the unity within ourselves is, I think, some of the most powerful work. And many of us are being asked, we're like, oh man, I worked with this 20 years ago, and I thought that I really let go of all this energy within me. But then what we're finding in the last few years, it's asking us, oh, sister, go deeper, just a little bit deeper.
Oh, yeah, there's more. Go deeper.
So none of us are not a part of this inner work process. So every person that has a spiritual message is doing that work within us just as much as we're sharing what that experience could look like for others. So it's the power of example and doing the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Natalie, because when I started to do as being a student in my womb course, the first one, we talked about how all this clearing we've done in the chakras and the body and all the clearing, and yet there's more that we need to do, and specifically clearing the womb chakra, because that is the creative portal, and that is where the exchange of energy, of thoughts, of feelings, of emotions happens in a process that is very much a mystery. The womb is a mystery. It's a feminine container, but that is where we birth that's where we're birthing the new earth. And that's what was shown to me, is we're clearing down so deep now, clearing the portal. We're literally clearing the birth canal and the birth portal to birth the new earth through our physical womb and our energy system, feminine creative system. And we had to go deeper. We had to go into the womb and begin to clear out all the pain and the suffering and the programming and the beliefs and the trauma that we were still holding on to. And that was such a concept that wasn't even anything that I ever knew about. I was like, oh, I'm a modern woman and I have a uterus that births a baby. But that was about the extent of it.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Marys started to come in and go, oh no.
There's more.
Oh no, there's so much more. You don't realize that's where your power is as a woman.
And for men,
and for
tapping
men
into
too.
the Dantian,
That's
the
right.
there's many words
Yes.
for the exact same thing, which we're working with the lower three chakras, which we know are
Yes.
being dissolved in the new
Mm.
in the to ignite new earth. It's the sacred heart and the heart chakra, which is there's now I know many of us are tapping into the 9th chakra or the sacred heart chakra, the 8th chakra. But yeah, men doing this work equally. I see it in my husband and my twin flame in this incarnation he is totally feeling that work in that same sacred container, the belly button as this magical portal in the umbilical cord to direct divine, the Holy Trinity. And that is magic to see it reflected. I'm doing womb work and he's doing his work in the same region, just through different methods and different same concept, same energy work, which is really beautiful, really magnificent to watch and to see. In fact, sometimes I'll just tear up and I'll just start crying because I'm like, oh my God, it's just so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Very special to witness that.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Mm.
And as we do our inner work, whatever that is, and on a collective basis, but as we do our inner work, then we are going to have that reflected on the outside. Because as we know, whatever we see on the outside is really a reflection on what is happening internally. So I love what you said about unity within. I've been actually thinking about so much about the unity on the outside and conscious living and unity consciousness, but I had not thought about I know the importance of bringing in both my male and female aspects, but thank you for that because I will now focus more on the working on that even more on the unity within because again, everything that is on the inside we will see reflected on the outside. And that's the unity, the kindness and peace. If we have that towards ourselves, we will be more kind and more peaceful, accepting of others. But it starts all within. And yet also how powerful it is when millions and billions of people can do this. And going back to what we earlier said, how important it is to know we can start now. If we haven't started, that's okay. You weren't ready for whatever the reason. Start now with the work. Be kind and gentle with yourself as you're doing your personal work. Have that compassion. Don't put in any judgment thinking that it was wrong and there's something wrong with me. I should have started 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Oh, be in that place of love and compassion for yourself and just do the work in a way that works for you and not to push it too much. Do what's comfortable. Go with your inner guidance. And as you both know, and your listeners know, how supportive and informative it is when we listen to our physical body as a gauge on our emotions, on our work, on our personal expansion. We need to listen to and be mindful and listen to the body and listen to the inner guidance.
Yeah, I love what you're saying so much, Kate, because that is so much wisdom and truth in that our bodies never lie. Our bodies can always reflect the truth.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I like to really teach. And that I also, that our emotions there's a scale of emotions that we have. And I think sometimes there's too much emphasis put on you need to get rid of your fear, you need to get rid of your anger. And I'm like, no, because that's still part of the gift of being a human. And
I would say it's like the gift.
yeah, it's like the gift, and you're exactly right. And as we
Yes.
bring in our divinity, right, and we merge our divine, what I call soul light, our I
Yes.
am essence with this body and this body consciousness, they blend together in a beautiful balanced way, right? In a
Mhm.
balance, it doesn't mean that we're never going to get angry again. It's never
Mhm.
meaning that we're never going to experience these other emotions. That's just part of being human, because
Yes.
all of those emotions are
Yes.
there, put there by the divine creator for a very specific reason,
Yes.
to give us guidance. It's like part of our internal intuitive guidance system, our body system, our intuitive wisdom. And I think it's a disservice to people
Yes.
to
Yeah.
try to say those are negative or
Mm.
wrong or bad, or it, to
Exactly.
me, more and more, it's about balance. It's inner
Yes.
balance between all of these energies, and
Mm.
mastering the balance within, creating your beautiful inner balance of the inner tapestry, so that your outer world can reflect that balance. And as
Mhm.
you said, the feminine and the masculine need to be in balance as well. Very important to do that. And the feminine has been so repressed for thousands of years. And now she is coming back. And I know there's no stopping that. Divine Mother
Yeah.
shared that with me. This is
Yeah.
way beyond this even earth. And that
Mhm.
we are going into a balanced world of oneness and unity and abundance for everywhere, where there will be, I think, kindness, again, loving kindness, and that you will be able to express your gift, and you will be supported to express that beautiful gift that you came to bring to this world, that we need.
Mm.
We need your gift. We need everyone. We need everyone's voice. We need your writing. We need your art. We need your beauty. We need your sacred sexuality. We need every part of it.
Yes. Well
Yeah.
said, Laura. Thank you. What you shared is there are so many important, vital reminders of what you said, and we need to keep all of what you said in mind. And this is such a beautiful, rich discussion. I'm so grateful to be here. And there are many reminders because we all need to be reminded, right? What is truth and what do I need to do for myself? And yes, the balancing and to have emotions is actually, yes, one of the gifts. It is healthy when we do it in a mindful way and we can modulate our emotions if needed. But yes, it's definitely not a bad or good. Emotions are as they are. And we also recognize the importance of keeping our vibration high. What I share with my clients and audiences is yes, do what we can to raise our vibration and not to poo and not to stuff those emotions, not to stuff challenges that come into our lives. That's an opportunity for looking at it and healing and to do our work and then go back into using our tools, whether it's meditation or centering or whatever, so that we can then, after we processed, to go back into high vibration. But again, so important not to ignore the upsets and do what people call the spiritual bypass. You know,
Exactly.
oh, I'm not spiritual if I get angry. No,
Yes.
that's totally not it. We
That's
are spiritual
missing a lot.
in
Yeah,
a physical body, and it is all by design. It
it
is
is.
intentional.
It is.
Yes.
I just did a video on this because a lot of in the work that I'm doing, as Laura knows, she's also working with me in that capacity. We get what is so interesting is we know and we know. And then when it comes to our work or our passions, our missions, we can get really flubbed up in the that we have to have all the answers, that we have to always feel like we reveal a lot, and we're letting our complete soul, multidimensional aspect, whatever that construct is, completely hang out in the open, and so we're extremely vulnerable. That is very courageous, and I, coming from my angle, is this guardian protector warrior energy, which is really this cosmic mother energy of fierce and compassionate. It's warrior and healer. And so if we can all remember that in the truth of being who we truly are, that authentic self truly is the soul made visible, because We're not hiding anymore that we're going through challenges. I can tell you and share through our purchase of our land and building our sanctuary as a twin flame couple, we are always reflecting back to each other. Okay, Natalie, you need to take the fire down a little bit. or hey, Mark, you need to light the fire. We get to share that. But in all of our work, and no matter what we're doing, what we're bringing to life, there is going to be in the dissolving of these constructs, this third density, we are going to face many challenges, many. And so to hide those is really not, it's doing a disservice to the collective, because everyone needs to see and resonate with no one is going to be safe, meaning safe from going through the same things. We are all going to go through the same challenges. So they've totally hijacked this term, but we really are in this together. And of course that was a hijacked term, but but the reality is true. We all are here. And so this is why these conversations are so powerful, because we get to speak that truth and share with each other. And if we are going through something, we can be like, Kate, Laura, so help.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually create a true unified community where we can reach out to each other and say, hey, having a little trouble with this. Do you know where I can get something? Or creating an actual, that is collaboration in this new energy. And that does make me excited to see that's possible.
That's well said. I love that, because we all are doing our work and we're doing it very courageously, but we still have our human needs. We have our ups and downs. We have our challenges, and we need a really strong community and to collaborate, to be able to come in and bear our authentic soul in a safe container. Like you said, Natalie, you're building your sanctuary, and Kate, I'm sure you have your beautiful safe sanctuary and container for your community. We all have those moments where we need to support each other and loving and just, even if it's just listening in a very, I'm listening, I'm being present with you, I'm just supporting you, is so powerful. And I think it's just beautiful. Yeah. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. It's hard being vulnerable. It's hard putting out the work that we're all doing here. It's hard. It is challenging. And there are days when you're like, do I really want that part of me to be seen? And then you're like, of course. But there's those moments and those days, especially as these things. I'm having a really huge challenge with this financial system. Like, I am so over it. I am so over it. And man, does that cosmic dragon energy come through. And I'm just like, I could light it on fire. It's because it's so controlling. It is the enslavement. And I'm done. Move on. This energy is so old. But it's here still, right now. And so then you have to just bring yourself back in and be like, okay.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I'm so over it too. And I've heard some good updates. And yet, with even those good updates and the good intention, there was still not, it wasn't reaching yet the equality and the justice back to the people of the enslavement piece. And I was a little disappointed in that. And I caught that when I re-listened to the interview. And I said, this is not yet, that this can't be the system of the new earth yet, because we're not in the vibration of the new earth as far as the collective shift hasn't happened. I don't think it's going to come till after the collective shift, personally, but I don't feel that's far off. But I do feel we have some challenges. And also with that, I wanted to note maybe another topic for another conversation another day, because when you were speaking of the fire, Natalie, you know how fiery I am as well. And we share that. And
that's the dragon, baby.
It's the dragon. And I heard a conversation. I have this beautiful intuitive, and I was so disappointed when I listened to her. She said it was the higher realms interpretation of what happened to the island of Maui. And I was listening to it in my car, and my body was literally on fire. because I was like, you are so not on the mark here. You were so off the mark. I'm sorry. I love you. You're great, but you are so off the mark, sister.
Mm.
And I almost stopped the car. And Natalie knows me. I don't just turn on and speak. And I was just like, I was too fiery and I was too angry and enraged. I said, no, I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to cool down because I don't want it to come out the wrong way. But it
Yeah.
made me so angry because I was tired of this patriarchal blaming. She was blaming, I don't know if she was consciously realizing what she was saying. She was blaming the whole fire on the people that live there.
Mm.
And I'm like, you are so off the mark because it has nothing to do with those people not doing their work. It has nothing to do with it at all. And I'm so tired of this sort of narrative of blaming humanity for everything.
Yeah.
We get blamed for climate change. We get blamed for this, that, every topic. It's our fault. And I'm like, seriously? Who believes that crap?
Mm.
Who believes that
And
crap is right?
and I'm like, so I know I'm growing. This is part of how I know that I'm my own inner growth because
Mhm.
I was raised in a family where my dad was so patriarchal, and I love my dad. Children should be seen and not heard. And my voice was super repressed, and it's taken me years to get it back. And to now that it's coming back online, she ain't gonna stop.
Yeah.
And nothing's gonna hold her back. And that's the
I've been
voice
a
of the
little bit
feminine.
difficult my whole life, by the way.
You were ahead of me, sister. You were ahead of me. But it's part of the generation as well. But it's like the truth is setting us free.
Mm-hmm.
And if we share our truth, and it may not be truth for everyone, but
Mhm.
it is truth, like you were saying in the beginning. There are certain words and frequencies that we need to speak so that other people can hear those, and they may not understand it, but they're hearing it, and it's awakening something within them. It's an awakening call.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here right now, like the very topic of what we're talking. We are being called. It's a clarion call to wake up,
Mhm.
for all of us to wake up. Those who are ready to wake up, there are many who will not, and that's their path. And who am
Right.
I to make a judgment around it? But there are so many like us, the warriors, we are creating that path. We are the pioneers. And so many others on the planet, pioneers creating the path for others for this incredible new earth. And in order to get there, yes, we have to go through a lot of challenges, a lot of cleansing, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of healing, and not only individually, but on the planet as well. So yeah, there's a lot of shifts and a lot of changes. So much happening, and thank goodness for the teachings that I know and the tools and the techniques, and I'm sure, of course, many that help us to get back into center, because we're all going to have those days we are right on, we're feeling strong, we're okay to be vulnerable. And then there's other parts, other days that we're not going to be that empowered, and that's okay. As long as we know the main trajectory of our path is to continue being the warrior. That's why I love doing these shows and podcasts and being with incredible enlightened women like you, Natalie and Laura, that we can share and also help remind others of what the truth is. What is our truth? If it is not theirs, that's fine. Let
Yeah.
them walk the path they need to. But those who are ready to hear, they are, as we know, magnetized to whoever they need to listen to. That will help uplift them, help them come into a higher vibration, help them to do their own work. And it is all about unity. It's all about the unity. When unity, community, it can be spelled ways, but the beautiful thing is the community and unity consciousness. I go back to saying I'm always very optimistic, but yes, it's not always easy.
I loved what you said too, Natalie, about it's not only the warrior, the cosmic dragon fire that some of us carry, like Natalie and I carry that together. We share that. But also compassion.
Yes.
And the compassion is a piece that has been part of my really deeper learning, so that I could bring the compassion piece in, so that my fire could be in balance.
Yes.
And so I realized that, okay, someone else has a different reflection and perspective. That's okay. Everyone, that's our sovereignty piece.
Yes.
And I don't have to agree with that, but I brought the compassion in to say the compassion expanded my container of space.
Oh.
And that container of space means I can hold a different perspective. I can allow that person to hold their perspective and be who they are authentically, without being triggered or reacting to the fire. Doesn't have to react. The fire can be contained and in balance with compassion. And to me, that's an inner growth it's an inner growth that we're being called to allow, because Divine Mother certainly allows it to be here on earth. Look what Divine Mother allows us all to be who we are authentically, without judgment, right?
Beautifully said, Laura. Absolutely. I love the expansion of the container with compassion, and how necessary that is. So vital, so that we can, each of us, do what we can to add to decreasing the polarity that is on the planet, and to honor others, yes, and to see where is our common ground. What do we have in common? And yes, you believe what you want. I'll believe what I want. What's important to me, and we can still coexist. So thank you, Laura. That's beautiful. The compassion, the container we can create.
Coexist in the unified field, in unity, in community. And I think that we're going to see more of this as we go forward. And Natalie and I have talked about, because of our resonance, our vibration, we will be attracted to a certain community and a certain field and group of people, and other people will go and they'll be with their people. And it doesn't mean that their growth doesn't stop. It doesn't mean that. It means that things actually, I think, begin to settle in the new earth, where we're not in these conflicting energies so much of trying to, because I could see this when my mother was here. If I walked into a room with her with my light, it actually aggravated her. She would get very irritated and aggravated because she couldn't handle the vibration, and she didn't know. It wasn't a conscious thing.
And so, probably vice versa. If you really think about these energies that, there's been some that where it was so destructive to my body, physiology, like the physiological reaction. It was an energetic reaction of not even being able to be in the same room as as super low frequencies. And that's another level to this, is the inner realms are also get affected through the energetic fields of these points we call chakra, but it's really the layers of the tree of life, the true 12 grid tree of life. That's how we're working through dimensions in our own bodies, and how our organs need to be cleansed of these kinds of energies too, because toxicity, which is patriarchy, which is separation, has really afflicted, especially those that have super hypersensitive bodies, right? Yeah.
That reminds me of an amazing analogy in my book, if I might share.
Please.
Exactly what we're talking about, the different energy vibrations. And this is the analogy of the greenhouse. When we have plants at there's a certain temperature, a certain level of humidity, and the plants are in there. And if it's at the right right level for the plants, they will thrive. But then naturally, sometimes things shift. Maybe the humidity level changes. If the plants cannot adapt, they are not going to do as well, and they might even die. The same is happening on our planet right now. Like you said, Natalie, the shifts, the energy vibration of the Mother Earth is raising in higher frequencies, and many people on the planet, their vibrations are raising, but there are many people in the old paradigm who are still clinging so desperately to the patriarchal, to the old Pisces age of competition and aggression, etc. and they are rubbing up against the new energies of the earth.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And an individual or society who are rubbing up against what is really the predominant sense of the higher vibration, they are not going to feel so well. There's a lot like that greenhouse effect.
Exactly.
Something for us to think about. Do we want to ride with the new shifts, the new energies, the higher vibration, the new earth? Or is it right for us to stay in the place we are? So a natural consequence will very likely be I'm going to feel that agitation and it's not going to feel good. And I'm going to have more consistently those lower vibrations of anger, jealousy, separation consciousness, etc.
Fear of losing all of these materialistic things and these elements that just are not truth. See,
Yeah.
we speak a lot of truth in that there's an our truth and their truth, but there are fundamental truths as well.
There is.
That this earth has been hijacked. This density has been hijacked. And there's a lot of people that don't want to go there because they want to stay in this higher vibration. Unfortunately, this is the beauty of being an alchemist. We transmute the lower frequencies into higher vibrations. However, we have to see them, hear them, know them. And it is not pretty to see hidden and to see the truth of what has really been happening. And it's unfortunate because in that truth is the freedom. Because then you realize, oh my God, this whole time I've been thinking that I just don't work at all well with this world. Oh no, you've worked fine. It's just the world that hasn't been working. Patriarchal enslavement is a very serious truth. And I really feel that truth can truly set more and more people free. Because I was actually talking to my brother, he's like, through that truth, what I feel is I now know who Prime Creator actually is.
Yes.
And it is a holy trinity, Father, Mother, God source. Or it allows people to touch divine in powerful ways because they're breaking through those energetic cages.
Yes. Said.
Yeah. Beautiful. Love it. Beautiful. Yeah, I think that those realities, though, if you're in a body on the earth at this time, as we move further and further and we eventually shift the consciousness, the collective consciousness to the fifth dimension, if you're in a body, you're probably going to touch into one of those really more difficult, harsher realities of truth that have been hidden and suppressed that we're now seeing come up because they can't stay hidden anymore. Everything is becoming transparent and more lucid, and our bodies are going to even become more transparent as we shift from carbon to crystalline. So if you're in a body and you're here, you're going to be eventually facing that truth at some point. Now, I believe in kindness and not pushing it on people, and not because that's what I said earlier about having compassion and giving space for people who aren't ready. Because if you're trying to force them or manipulate or control, well, you're in that agenda and you're gaslighting people, you're bullying, you're using the same energy that we're releasing.
They're not able to hear that frequency either. No. Our words are frequencies, and those that will resonate with the seeds will or will not.
Absolutely. And I found that out 3 years ago, trying to talk to my dad about some things that were going on in the world that we all know about that happen. And he just couldn't hear me. And I just finally just said, okay, he can't hear me. He can't receive it. I have to trust his own soul path. And I love him. I pray for him. I send him good energy and all that. And if he's ready, then he'll just reach out to me. What else can you do? But just let go and honor people and honor their paths wherever they are. And love.
Many of us have this, it's like a recon mission, right? So we feel no souls left behind. No, all the ones that want to follow us, come on, let's go. Here's the path. We want them all to come on. Don't miss the boat. Come on. But the unfortunate part is we have to be okay, like you just said, Laura. Let it go. Let it go, and just know that there's another experience waiting for you, and it'll
exactly.
be okay. But many of us feel that energy of like, we want to create pathways and help, because we just know that it's so much easier if you just go this way. And then you can create your own path. Just go through this door. Yeah.
And yet we don't know what their path is, and maybe their path is meant for lack of a better word, for the difficult way. We know when we use our tools and techniques.
Free will, right?
And free will, yes. Yeah. And when we have our tools and techniques to get back into higher vibration, to get into center, to be in that place of love after we've had an upset. But there's many people who don't know that, and that's their path. It's helped me a lot to, as you were saying, Natalie, I want everyone to join the boat. I would love that.
Yeah.
And yet what has helped me is to realize that who am I to know what a person's lesson is and how are they to learn it? And that has stuck with me like you said, again, so beautifully, the whole beautiful concept of compassion. It has helped me to have compassion for those, because I tend, as maybe both of you and many of us, to take on, and I wish I can make things better, and I want my magic wand and just they're all better and everything is in harmony and peace and perfect. That is not life 100%. But what helps me is to know, they're on their own journey, and I don't know what that lesson is. So like you both said so beautifully, let go, let it be as we may. And each one of us, the three of us here and all of our listeners and so many people in the world, showing up, giving our gift, showing up in authenticity, being transparent, doing our work, being courageous, doing the warrior, paving that path. This is creating the beautiful shift on the planet in time for whoever is meant to be on that.
Yeah.
And that helps me. That helps me.
Definitely. When I was in my 20s, that was it wasn't fully, I wasn't fully in the awareness of, I just,
me neither.
And that's part of the journey for that awareness. But remember, I had when my sacred heart, when that chakra exploded, and I just automatic write and did this huge article on unconditional love. And that was the divine feminine, the mother energy coming through me, knowing that one thing that we forget often is boundaries, and letting go is unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
That is beautiful. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And also what you were saying too, Kate, that I thought was really so wise is that, or reflection, that just because someone has a different life path or they may go on a different, what I call timeline, or we are seeing a divergent of different timelines coming forth. To me, it doesn't mean that they're not part of the oneness.
Yeah.
They're still part of the oneness, because the oneness to me comes from, we're all part of original creation, the original divine mother and divine father it comes from the original womb. I call the black light of divine mother. All of life is constantly being birthed, and every soul is loved unconditionally, no matter if they've are aware of that connection or have lost the conscious aware of that connection. I believe that everyone still retains that spark of light.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And yes, maybe they've fallen. We've all fallen. We've all fallen down many times. And yet we are still encouraged. We are still loved unconditionally. We are still given compassion.
Oh, yes.
And in that soul is loved unconditionally, no matter what their choice is.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That soul is a unique expression of the Creator, just like any other soul on the planet is also a unique expression of the Creator. And yes, we are so divine, that divine spark, Laura. So beautifully said. Yes.
Yes. That is the truth. We talk about New Earth magic, but the New Earth magic is really not only the earth and the consciousness that it holds, but also every being on this, what we call planet. It's knowing that every plant, every mineral,
Mhm.
every human, every insect is all consciousness. And when we have that oneness and we feel into that,
Yes.
that is when you really truly tap what the law of one actually means, what it really means, that
Yeah.
beautiful vibration that is almost inexplicable, but you can feel it.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Feeling it is powerful. And that's where the true experience is.
Yep,
Mm.
exactly.
Mm.
We're about at an hour, ladies. This was a beautiful, winding, weaving conversation.
Mhm. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
I
Loved
love
it.
it.
Yeah, I loved it too. Very
I so
beautiful.
appreciate both of you and your wisdom.
Same, Kate. Same.
Thank you. Same to you too also, Kate.
And as always, Laura.
Natalie.
We do this for a reason, because
Mhm.
seriously, it's beautiful not to have an agenda and just see where things go.
Yeah.
And just
Yes.
be able to wind and weave our ways from our different reflections. It's beautiful.
Mhm. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Such
Thank
an
you.
honor and a joy. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you all. Until next time. Thank you for listening to the Disrupt Now podcast. Please leave us a review. Also, if you want to get these episodes to your inbox, go to disruptnowpodcast.com and you can drop your email in. You can also see all of the episodes since day one. If you'd like to connect, we have a couple of different ways. You can join us on Telegram. The group is called Awakening Magick. Or if you want to drop a line, email us at info@natalieviglione.com. Thank you for being here on this journey to awaken the magic again.